Hi, and welcome to my mini lesson on Reading Literature Standard 2. This goes along with Common Core State Standard for Reading Literature Standard 2 in the ninth and 10th grade strands. So, the actual standard says, determine a theme or central idea of a text and analyze in detail its development over the course of the text, including how it emerges and is shaped and refined by specific details. Provide an objective summary of the text. So let's break it down. Once we've mastered this standard, we will be able to say, I can identify a theme or main idea of a text. I can explain in detail how a theme develops over the course of a text. I can explain how a theme is first expressed and how specific details help shape it. I can provide a fact-based summary of the text. So, lots of stuff that you'll be able to do here. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is objective versus subjective, because you have to provide an objective summary. So, if you don't know, or if you've forgotten, here we go. Objective, only facts and concrete text-based details. So there are no opinions in an objective summary. It's only facts. For subjective, though, those have opinions, thoughts, perspectives, beliefs. It can be an emotional response, okay? When you're having that emotional response, you've seen a movie that you really didn't like, that is a subjective review, okay? Objective, just the facts. So the standard says only use evidence and details explicitly from the text. All right, don't put your own emotions or your own opinions in there. Now, part of the problem with identifying theme and the whole standard is it's tough sometimes to figure out what the theme of the story is. So, I have created a scaffold to help you. If you type that in to your browser, you will be able to come over here and make your own copy of the document. So once you make a copy, you will see this. All right. So whatever story you're reading, it doesn't really matter. You can go through this scaffold and it will help you determine the theme of the text. So to begin with, we're going to summarize the plot. Now, just don't put your emotions in here and you're going to have an objective summary of the plot, okay? So write one sentence about the beginning of the story, about the characters being introduced or the setting being established. Then write one sentence summary of the conflict. What is the problem that's happening here? Write a one sentence summary of the rising action. So you're just summarizing all of the events that are building up to the most intense moment, okay? And then you're going to write a one sentence summary of the climax. So what is the most intense part of the action, where everything is building to? After that, a one sentence summary of the falling action. So if something happens after the conclusion, in between the climax, and the actual end of the story, if there's some more details in there, that's falling action. A one sentence summary of that. The resolution is how the story ends. One sentence for that. And then you have your objective summary. Now, the second question is, what is the subject of the work? If you were to tell a friend what the work of literature was about, how would you describe it? What is the topic? This is starting to help you think about what's going on in this story. The next thing I want you to think about is the character. So think about this main character. How is this person described? What are the physical attributes? What are the non-physical attributes? So these things, the physical attributes may be what the character looks like. Okay, the non-physical attributes may be the character's emotional state. Okay, so think about those character traits. And then think about, are you even supposed to like the main character? Sometimes this matters. Sometimes it doesn't, okay? I don't know what your text is, so if it doesn't apply, then it doesn't apply. But sometimes if you don't like that main character, that has something to do with the theme sometimes. And if you do like it, also, it could have something to do with the theme. The next question is, how did the main character change over the course of the story? A lot of times, how the character changes has a lot to do with the theme. And then the last one here about the character is, what lesson did the protagonist learn from the resolution of the conflict? So what lesson, oh, this is a typo here. We're going to fix that right now live. There it is. Whatever lesson this protagonist learns is likely the lesson that we as a reader are supposed to take away as well. And so instead of applying it just to the main character, think about what that means to the world at large, and then you will have a theme. Okay, and that is what this question is all about. It says, what is the overall message the text is trying to tell its reader, viewer, listener, whatever it is? Think about the general message that can be applied to the world, not just a character in the story. That's your theme, okay? A lot of times, right up in here, this answer is going to reflect heavily down here. Now, if you're not sure if you got the theme right, here's a way to test your conclusion by briefly answering some questions. If you can't answer these questions, you may need to rethink the theme that you've listed. All right, so the first question is, what evidence or examples from the text support the theme you listed? If you choose a theme and then you can back it up with textual evidence, chances are you've got it right. The second question is, how are all the author's choices of plot, character, conflict, and tone related to this theme? Again, if you can answer these questions with textual evidence, chances are you got it right. All right, that's theme in a nutshell. Hope this was helpful. Definitely use the scaffold. You can make as many copies as you want. It's free for everybody. You're welcome.